takes the hit, can't finish the play. 4 on Robbins.
Over the limit. Both teams on the next foul by the Spurs, incidentally. And Rasheed Wallace with a good game going here. 10 rebounds to go along with 14 points. Will be at the line. A 6-point difference with 3:33 to play here in regulation.
That's the best way to silence a noisy crowd that's behind the basket. They'll start all over again as Wallace gets ready for a second.
He's got them both. And so now it is 73-69. And the Blazers hanging right in there with the Spurs, and Rasheed with a terrific game going, 16. Avery Johnson defended by Damon.
With each possession, the Spurs are taking more and more time off the shot clock and trying to get set. The clock is now down to 5. Elliott for 3.
And Rasheed high to pull it down. 73-69. Wallace really skying tonight. Damon on the line to the hoop. Back to Wallace. Ooh, I thought he had one, and that's tipped out of bounds by Mario Elie. Blazers will get it back with 2:57 remaining and down by 4. It is 73-69 San Antonio.
The RAV4. It's not for everyone, only you.
I've been here living in Portland for 34 years, and I've seen a complete 180 turnaround what's happening in the community. Block by block, they try to fix up the houses. And if 2 people in one block fix up their house, then pretty soon the pressure comes to the other people. Well, we got to do something about our house.
When you see your neighbor making improvements on their homes, you look at them and say, oh, that looks nice. I'm going to do that, too.
It just really gives you the pride. I own a home. That is my house.
The Fannie Mae Foundation.
Come on, keys, where are you? Here's an idea. When you miss a call, dial star 69. It phones whoever called you last.
Oh, yeah, here's 10.
Star 69 from GTE. It's on your phone already.
So the Trailblazers have found someone that is keeping them close, and that's what you need in a tight ball game, to find someone that's going to be able to find some scores, and that's what Wallace has done in the second half of play. Come up with some big hoops, Portland right there, and possession of the basketball thanks to Rasheed Wallace.
We're live in just a moment. Wallace back to the live action here as the Spurs will send out 3 John Wooden Award winners, Duncan, Elliott, and Robinson. And the reset for you, the Spurs with 1 more timeout and a 20 than the Trailblazers. Either team with a foul to give.
Trying to go through Ryder, and Ryder has not had a chance to work against John Elliott.
That was right there, too. 73-69 with 2:40 and ticking.
In a game like this, when you get to these stages, now you want to be turning and bringing that ball to the rim, because if you don't get the shot to go in, you're probably going to get the call. Looking to go to Tim Duncan. San Antonio 9 on the shot clock.
And a big rebound by Grant after good defense by Rasheed Wallace on Tim Duncan. Damon fouled by Johnson, and that's going to put Damon at the foul line. Boy, Avery Johnson tried to come around that screen by Brian Grant, and he hooked Damon on the way by, and that's a foul on him.
Now, Eddie, this is what happens between you and I over here. It's the Tom Wars. You like to put in and grab and push it and shove it.
I like that.
You know nothing about Tom Wars.
I do. I know a lot about it. In another life, I used to fight in the Tom Wars. Damon Stoudemire at the foul line. Avery Johnson walking around behind him while he's trying to shoot the free throw. Boy, the missed free throws, although they're about equal on either side, certainly haven't helped the Blazers' chances down the stretch.
This is what you live for, though. Crowd making noise. You're in a hospital arena. This is when you want to drop a dime on them. He gets the second one to go in. 3-point game.
73-70. Blazers trail the Spurs. 2:15 remaining in regulation. Been a fun one. Blazers could win this one. It would really be fun. Inside Duncan deep. Back to Johnson. Tries to beat Damon off the dribble. Elliott, they're trying to play beat the clock now. Bounce out. What a wonderful pass. I think it was Robinson. I was screamed out. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was David Robinson, but they gambled. They thought they had a chance to make a steal on the ball, and they don't. 5-point lead, San Antonio. What you want in this possession is a score. Don't panic. Think you have to go for three, right or die.
Boy, I'll tell you, that was a deep ball, too. And here they come. Elliott. And it's 77-70.
Got to understand how to play situation. A 5-point ball game doesn't necessarily need a 3-point field goal. Rasheed Wallace making a tough try is going to get fouled from the rear by Tim Duncan.
With 1:24 remaining. Still plenty of time here. The Blazers can make a couple of free throws. That'll put them back within 5.
Good quick step by Rasheed Wallace. Duncan is wondering where was he on the foul. It should have gone probably against David Robinson.
Duncan with 2, Robinson with 4 fouls. And Rasheed Wallace gets the Blazers back within 6. Blazers have Williams and Grant with 4 fouls. Wallace and Cato also have 4 fouls. And out of the game comes Damon Stoudemire, Brian Grant, and J.R. Ryder. And in comes Greg Anthony, Jimmy Jackson, and Stacey Augmon to go with Rasheed and Kelvin Cato. Boy, Rasheed's played a lot of minutes here in the second half. Timeout, 77-71, San Antonio.
What did your money do today? At today's closing bell, over 480 million shares changed hands. Did your money play a part? Bank of America. Put your money in motion.
Drive a pickup or sport utility? It's spring changeover time at your nearby Les Schwab Tire Center. Goodbye winter. Hello spring sale. Sale prices on Wild Country, the whole family. Sale prices on Wildcat and the new Wildcat All-Terrain. Excellent values on special purchase pickup and sport utility radials. Shocks to bring back that new truck ride. Buy 3, get 1 free. Batteries on sale. New styles and custom wheels. Happening now, the Les Schwab Spring Tire Sale.
If I was a window washer, an architect, a security guard, or a farmer, instead of a famous basketball player, would you care what I drink? Would Sprite not taste the same? Would I be doing this commercial? What do you think?
What did your money do today? Is it making things happen like the big man in this game? Bank of America. Put your money in motion.
Now, the San Antonio Spurs are a team that relies on their big guys, and in the closing moments, they got a great exchange between David Robinson and Duncan, and then a bust out by Sean Elliott to push the lead to 7. That is a cushion that the Trailblazers have to overcome here in the final 124.
2 in no 20 for the Blazers, 2 in 120 remaining for the Spurs. Rasheed Wallace at the foul line to try and make the second. And Rashid gets the Blazers back to within 5 with 1:24, and they put the pressure on.
Almost a steal by Jackson, but it's still not a bad play. It's not a bad play to put the Spurs on the line, and particularly with Duncan, not a great free thrower. You're hoping you get at least one, possibly 2 misses from him.
Blazers have only had 4 field goals here in the fourth quarter. 77-72.
Now San Antonio may be in about the same mixed bag. First miss by Duncan.
Both teams have had problems, but a lot of that due to the fact that each team has applied some pretty good defense. They are shooting less than 30% in the quarter, Steve. And the Blazers now 32%.
You got 2 misses.
And Jimmy Jackson got raked across the eyes as he made the rebound, but no foul call. And the Blazers will have possession with 1:20 remaining here in the quarter and trailing at 77-72.
How do they do it? I hear they use real lemons. Here's the table you reserved. Nice hustle, Jimmy. Thanks, Grandma. It's just not fair. Looks like you just earned yourself 1 free lemonade.
We didn't invent great service. We just took it to new heights. Alaska Airlines. For the same price, you just get more.
With AT&T Digital One Rate, this is no ordinary phone. It's my you can reach me in Austin, then Denver, then Philly phone. My hey, let me pick up the kids today phone. My I'm working from home today phone. My hey honey, Michael made black belt phone.
The world of wireless has changed. AT&T Digital One Rate. No roaming or long distance charges across all 50 states. So now AT&T could make your wireless phone your only phone.
Someday, somewhere, you're going to wish you had BP gasoline. BP is specially formulated to keep your engine clean for optimal performance. After all, he who hesitates is lost. BP, we keep you moving.
BP and the Blazers have teamed up to help refurbish city basketball courts. They donate $100 to Portland Parks and Recreation for each 3-point field goal made by the Blazers during games on our television network. In tonight's game, the Blazers made a total of 3 3-pointers, adding another 300 to the BP points for the Parks program, and that brings the total so far to $6,600 raised for BP points for the Parks. BP, we do keep you moving. Blazers 4 for 14 from the floor, and the Spurs 3 for 13 from the floor in the fourth quarter.
The important thing for the Trailblazers is a quick strike. You want to drive this ball to the basket, get a chance to go to the free throw line. They go for 3. Wallace.
Got it! Rasheed Wallace. It's a 2-point ball game with 1:11 to play. It's been his night. Here's Ellie, pressured all over the place. And it's taken away by Grant. Damon Stoudemire, and he'll circle around. Back to Ryder. Damon, spot up 3 on the way. Got it! Blazers take a 1-point lead. 78-77 with 56.4 seconds remaining. Oh my goodness, what a turn of events here late in the fourth quarter. Look at the enthusiasm over there on the Blazers bench. Incredible. And it's 78-77 Portland.
The Trailblazers came out of this with an idea that they were going to go for 3. Wallace gets a set play. He knocked down the shot. And that really gave them some energy. And at the defensive end, they came out attacking and got a turnover against Ellie. But the clock and the situation, Dunleavy gambled. Then they come back with a bigger gamble with Stoudemire, who's been struggling to score. So you go for a team that's made 4 field goals and suddenly bang, bang, 6 quick points are on top. And things have changed in terms of momentum, but they're just 56.4 seconds to play. You know that San Antonio is going to come down, try to drive this ball through either David Robinson or Tim Duncan. So you got to defend both of those guys, make the shot come from over the top, and then be ready to rebound.
$6,800 now, not the number we were given before. It's $6,800 that BP will donate.
Well,
$500 to the Parks for the Program, Points for the Parks program.
We got a telethon though, and it may go up if they make another.
Yeah, let's add another one right here. So they keep coming at you. They keep coming at you. And we've got Sean Elliott to inbound with Duncan and Robinson, Avery Johnson, and Elliott, and they're set up low along the lane. And Elliott will inbound. And Stacey Augmon and Jackson get their signals tied up for a moment as the Spurs will bring it over and try and get into a position for a score. Rebound by Rasheed Wallace and a quick foul by San Antonio off the miss by Sean Elliott. 45 seconds to play in regulation, and the Blazers with a 1.78-77 lead.
Well, Wallace, who has been terrific for the Trailblazers in this second half and in closing his ball game, having a chance to give them at least a 2 or a 3-point lead, will walk to the free throw line. The thing he wants to do right now is go into automatic. Don't think about the situation. Do your routine. Just shoot the free throws. The crowd up behind him.
Blazers with a nice little run. And here's the good news that Rasheed Wallace was the first Blazers player to score 20 tonight. Congratulations to our first to 20 contestant, Dan Ferguson, who picked Rasheed as the first to 20, and he has just won $1,000. Way to go, Dan. And Rasheed with 22 points here tonight. 2-point Portland lead.
Huge second half for the bigger force who gets both of the free throws. The Spurs do not go for a timeout.
So Rasheed Wallace and the Blazers now lead by 3. No fouls. Robinson tries to turn in on Rasheed. What a shot indeed. And now it's a 1-point ball game.
But if you're Portland, you're holding for all of the time. San Antonio's going to say, look, you know, we're going to play for that 6-second differential right here. But if you're Portland, you're trying to move the ball and on your final possession, make a quick move, maybe get one more free throw. Wallace against Duncan.
Maybe looking for a foul. Turn around. No! And there's a 24-second foul. 6 seconds remaining. And Greg Anthony had to get back and cover the break with Tim Duncan streaking to the other end. He'll go at the line. His team down by 1.
Well, everyone went for the rebound, and it came to David Robinson, and Tim Duncan leaked out. Anthony on the fly to put Tim Duncan back at the free throw line. The last time he was here, he missed them both.
Duncan at the stripe. In the last 24 games, he's averaged over 23 points and 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, and an average of 39 minutes. Tonight, Duncan has 18 points, 12 rebounds. And Kelvin Cato will come in the ball game. The Blazers have a timeout remaining should they elect to use it. The Spurs have 1 and a 20.
All quiet here. Duncan comes to the line, and Duncan steadying and thinking. The Trailblazers have to be ready right here for a miss. Rebound the ball.
80-80. A 1-point San Antonio lead with 3.7 seconds remaining. You don't want to miss the last 3.7 of this one, do you? We'll be right back.
When I was younger, I did some pretty foolish things, like work on my own car. Sometimes I did more harm than good. Today, I'd no sooner know what to do under there than how to perform brain surgery. So I trust my car and my family safety to a professional. Charlie works on over 350 different models, and they change every year. He knows as much about cars as doctors do about people. That's why I put my trust in him and the top quality CarQuest auto parts he uses.
Look under Sprite caps and you could win free Sprite or a $25,000 paycheck.
2 words, kid. Savings account. Nah, let Kobe take you traveling. You know about traveling. You do it all over the court. Think steady, long-term growth. I don't know what's weaker, your advice or your game. Weak? Yeah, weak. Hey, don't make me come over there. Excuse me? You want me to say it again?
I kind of have to get home.
Anybody here talking to you?
No.
I didn't think so.
The Sprite salary cap game.
You heard me. I don't think I did.
What you do with the money is your choice.
I think you did.
The Country Companies knows that starting a family is no small feat. So the least we could do is start giving you a break with mini rates on most minivans.
When it matters most, the country's behind you.
The breaks of the games and the things that go undetected. As you look underneath the basket, the ball bounces right off the chest of Stacey Ogma, but in a takedown situation, he's got no chance to recover. Duncan on the fly leaks out, and that's how they got in that game-winning situation. Now Portland has the ball back, 3.7 seconds to go, and a chance to win it. And they've got to have a quick-hitting play. This play is one in which they've got to get 2 chances to either tie or win the ball game. So whatever they do, it's got to happen quickly.
Jackson, Wallace, Grant, Ryder. And let's see, Damon Stoudemire. We got Damon down low right, Ryder down low left. Wallace set up just off the circle on the left, and now a delay of game called against the San Antonio Spurs. While Greg Popovich saw what the Blazers were doing, now yells out to his defense. They have Duncan, Ellie, Johnson.
You got to get it in. You got no timeouts left, so you got to strike quickly. Duncan against Wallace for 3.
And the Blazers, for the first time this year, lose back-to-back games. After they fought so hard to come back from 14 down midway through the 3rd quarter, they end up losing this one by a final of 81-80. Don't forget, now we have a Rip City TV special coming up, which will follow the game. A tough one to lose, and now it's on to Dallas and the Mavericks tomorrow night. Rasheed Wallace was brilliant. The Blazers fought hard to get back in it, and they did it against the team that trails them in the Pacific in the Western Conference standings. And they have now just picked up 1 game and trail the Blazers by 2 for that 2nd spot. It's all over. The Spurs have beaten the Blazers by a final of 81-80. For Steve, I'm Eddie. So long from San Antonio.
And the Kings turn it over without an opportunity to shoot. A chance to cut it to 2 or better. Anderson drives hard. Back out to Brian Russell. Barry goes down. Russell's open for the shot. Rebound, Pollard.
Pollard, nice defensive help. Good rebound. Good defensive help in the middle. John Barry, nice. The Kings, solid defense on 2 possessions of the Jazz.
Chris Webber with 10 on the shot clock. Webber, turnaround jumper won't go. The little half jump hook. Webber has struggled tonight. He has 8 points in the game at 20 in game number 2. Malone left open in the middle. Nobody there to bother him, and Carl just took it unmolested to the hoop, and it's a 2-point Kings lead. Closest Utah's been since they led 5-0 at the beginning of the ball game. Barry with the drive and the handoff. Good penetration by Barry and the lay-in. And Corliss Williamson has 18 points.
And that's what's so nice about the different players on the floor. Barry, a penetrator and a disher. Williams, a jump shot shooter. Nice combination.
Berry on Anderson. Malone now out high with Pollard on him. Isley once again alone. Jason Williams not there. Out of bounds. Kings ball. Corliss Williamson, by the way, with his 18 points tonight, that's his career playoff high. So he has come up big in a very critical game. 9:22 to go, and the Kings lead it by 4. And Divac.
And smart move by Divac. Not appreciating the physical play and the trash talking that's going on the floor. Gets it on the post and takes it right to Foster, knowing the referees are looking at it.
Here's what started that altercation. Well, that's not what started it. That's the discussion between
It's just a little bit of talk, a little trash talk by two guys that are out there banging, and no reason for anybody else to get involved in it.
So Divac goes back to the free throw line. Vlade tonight, 13 points. And we have Todd Fuller back into the game for Greg Foster, who will sit down.
But I have to believe, Bob, this is where their advantage is right now. Not getting much point production out of Chris Webber. Corliss Williamson had been carrying the team. He's not in there right now. Vlade Divac going against Fuller in the low post is where the advantage is. They got to go to him.
65-62. Kings, 8:10 to go. Anybody's ball game. The series tied at 1 apiece. Utah blows them out in the first one. Kings surprise them by 11 in game 2. Seizing the home court advantage. Beautiful pass from Karl Malone to the cutting Howard Isley, who has 15 points in this game.
And just the fact that Karl Malone faced up and looked at the bucket made John Barry take a look. And when you take a look on the Jazz, they find a way to burn you.
Now Isley fouls Barry. Keep a close watch on the team foul situation. That's the 4th team foul, so the next Utah foul will be sending the Kings to the line.
And as soon as John Barry looked at Karl Malone on the face-up, Karl Malone does it better than any power forward in the league, and that's give it up.
Divac. Now Fuller trying to play him. Ostertag has had just a few minutes tonight. Stojakovic from the corner from Jason Williams. That's a big triple. Stojakovic knocks down the 3.
Bob, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The advantage in the low post with Vlade Divac going against Fuller, and then the widespread offense with the shooters on the floor, Peja, Barry, and Jason Williams.
Malone in the face of Pollard. Karl Malone heating up here in the 4th period. Karl has 12 points. He had only 6 in the first half. It's a 2-point game. The Jazz had cut it to 1. Back to Divac, working on Fuller.
Trying to wait for the double team to come. Look at him hold it. No double team, you got to shoot it, but you got to convert in there. You got to play big. This is big time ball.
Stockton defended by Jason Williams. Looking for Isley, cutting on the baseline. Now Pollard. Barry got his hands on that. Nice defense by John Barry.
Two guys
by 2.
2 guys in the league you can't front. Karl Malone and Shaq. The way you defend it is just what Barry did. A lot of ball pressure.
Jason Williams with the pick. Then on the sideline, fade away, miss Anderson with the rebound to Stockton. Now Jazz running. Out of the right wing is Karl Malone. Somebody stripped it loose.
You got to run.
Malone ended up with a ball. It was a pass by Shandon Anderson while laying flat on the floor, and hold it just a moment. Somebody's down over here. It looks like Divac. I don't know if you can see the left side of his face. You can't obviously in this shot, but he's taken a big cut over there. He's going to have to go to the bench. The game is tied. It's the first time it's been tied in the entire ball game. 68 all with 6:07 remaining. And let's see what happens to Divac here during this scramble for the ball.
His own guy right there steps on Vlade Divac's foot right there. And then, of course, right there, John Stockton, a little bit of a throw on the elbow if you checked it out closely. I don't know if that got him in the eye, but wanting it more than the Kings, the Jazz get that loose ball and the layup.
There's something special about the folks who work at AutoZone. The fact that they know more than a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. Their willingness to go the extra mile. And their belief in doing what's right. So it's no wonder why millions of customers turn to us each week for help in getting back on the road. Because working...
The first lead since the opening moments of this ball game.
And the Kings very stale offensively. No movement on the weak side.
The last time the Jazz led was at 5-4. 7 on the shot clock. Stockton looking down low to Malone. Pollard defending. Shot clock to 3. Malone passes inside. And was there a... First of all, there was a violation of the shot clock, but I believe a whistle before the shot clock wound down. Eddie F. Rush calls the foul on John Barry, his third.
Karl Malone told me before the game, he says, Reggie, I always tell the guys from my passing, never stop moving, because if I see you, I'm going to get it to you. Right there is a great example. Karl Malone with the shot clock running down finds Shandon Anderson after he goes up looking for the jumper.
Shandon Anderson having a big game here tonight. Has 16 points, hasn't scored in the fourth quarter. And he still hasn't scored in the fourth quarter. And let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Well, Bob and Reggie, Vlade Divac's in the locker room receiving some stitches, and they're trying to do it as quickly as possible, so obviously he can return back to the game.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. We'll keep a close eye on that. Barry will sit down. Vernon Maxwell comes into the ballgame. Jason Williams, Maxwell, Weber, Stojakovic, and Pollard on the floor for the Kings. And that gives the Utah Jazz their first lead since they led 5-4 with 5:20 to go in this game. Maxwell penetration, threw up a prayer. Loose ball saved nicely by Pollard. New shot clock. Stojakovic misses. Weber with a rebound.
Good hustle by the Kings.
In the corner, Maxwell. Big three's been missing them all night, but hits the big one, and it's a 2-point Kings lead.
Tough situation for the Kings. They got to come up with some big shots. Playing half-court basketball right now, and that's the Jazz kind of game.
Maxwell now defending Isley. Jason Williams on Stockton, 10 on the shot clock, trying to post Karl Malone. Against Pollard. Isley over Williams. Rebound Kings. Vernon Maxwell to Jason Williams. Maxwell had missed 8 shots in a row before he hit that big three, and that's traditional for offensive foul on Jason Williams. No, it's on Weber. It's on Weber for the clear out. 4 fouls on Weber.
That was the same play where he really lowered the boom on John Stockton in game 2. That same type of play.
4:20 to go in the ball game. 2-point lead for the Kings. They led by as many as 16 points midway through the second quarter.
That's a good foul by Vernon Maxwell. Pollard allowing Stockton to pick him off again. Vernon Maxwell did only thing he could do, and that's stand Karl Malone up.
That's 2 team fouls now on the Kings. The Jazz with 4. They'll be over the limit, and they commit their next foul. 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Vlade Divac has exited from the locker room and should be back in here shortly. Tape over his stitches. Malone, turnaround jumper, big bucket from the big player, Karl Malone. The mailman has 16 tonight.
And Bob, he's wide open because of the ball movement. Last time, he went up and found the open guy. This time, on no help, he finds the open thread.
Now, Weber to Maxwell. Misses from 3. Stockton with a rebound. Tied at 71. Anderson. Cross-court pass. Isley gave up the 3. Jerry Sloan likes that. He likes the Utah Jazz to work, look for the openings, get that shot clock down. It's down to 7 now. Malone on the drive finger roll. Karl Malone has 18, and he has put this team on his back and is carrying them here in the fourth quarter, and the Jazz have the lead. Karl has 10 in this period. Chris Weber fouled as he spins into the middle by Todd Fuller.
And this is playoff basketball, Bob. 19 seconds of tough defense if the Kings want to win this game every time down court, because the Jazz want to run that long. On the other end, they got to get some ball movement. They got to get some passing around and hitting shots.
Chris Weber 2 of 4 from the line. You see he has only 8 points in this game, only 6 field goals. Tomorrow night at a special time, 6:30 Eastern on TBS. Orlando at Philadelphia, Game 3, followed by Indiana at Milwaukee in Game 3. TNT at 7. These are special times, 7 Eastern time. San Antonio at Minnesota, and the Lakers at Houston. Tomorrow night, we continue with our quadruple headers. Stojakovic with the rebound off the missed free throws from Weber.
That is a big offensive rebound.
Weber against Fuller. Turnaround jumper. Weber has struggled tonight. Jazz by 2. Series tied at 1 apiece. Stockton pops out. He'll look for Malone. Shot clock to 10. Malone with 10 in the quarter.
See, that's a good handoff defensively. You see how the guards come together and then give up each other?
Malone is fouled as he goes to the basket, and he'll go to the free throw line. The crowd has been taken out of the game by the steady play of Utah in this fourth period, and the Jazz lead it by 2.
I'm going to the movies. Hey.
Blazers, that was Rasheed Wallace. As the Blazers advance to the second round for the first time since '92, they will play the winner of this series, the Jazz and the Kings. Right now back to Sacramento, and Bob Neal and Reggie Theus.
Thanks, Bob. 73-71 Utah here, 2:37 remaining in this ball game. Malone is going to the free throw line. Karl Malone has only been to the line twice tonight. This is a man who's always among the league leaders in trips to the line per game, averaging just under 10 again this year. But Karl is 2 for 2 and will go to the line. Here's what's happened in the game for Karl. 0, 2, 6, 10. Looks like an upward graph for a total of 18 in this game.
Bob, I like the way Karl has played this game, mainly because he's let the game come to him. He hasn't forced his game. Not a lot of shots, not shooting the ball extremely well, but doing some other things, getting some assists, and now in crunch time, he's been very visible out there.
10 seconds to shoot a free throw. Karl takes so much time. That's why you hear the crowd counting. Karl gets them both. He's heard it all before, as he said before the ball game. He knew what this crowd would do, and it was just important for Utah to keep their poise and keep pounding away. That's what they've done. Now they've taken a 4-point lead. Malone has 20. Divac. Pass inside. Jason Williams from Vlade. Back to a 2-point Jazz lead. 2:20 to go in the game.
That's why Vlade's so important down there, Bob. He creates the double team to get the open guys the shots.
The Jazz go to the same place so often. They execute it so well, it doesn't matter if you know what's coming. 5 on the shot clock. Maxwell cuts off Stockton. Malone with 2. He'll put the ball up. That would have counted. Big offensive board from Todd Fuller. Divac's in his face, and we've got a timeout called by Utah with 1:49 to go. It'll be Jazz ball with 20 on the shot clock when we come back. Wow, this has been a beauty. The crowd now sitting on their hands. They're biting their nails.
How long are they going to worship this guy?
Hey! We got Cy Young winners over here. Come on, Alice. Oh. Step into it.
Feel bigger?
Yeah.
Hi, Top.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Hey, have you guys seen Mark?
You guys seen Mark?
Coliseum area in the early 90s was dilapidated building, overgrown lots, and basically it wasn't an area where you would want to be caught in. Oh, now.
Complete coverage of that Knicks win over Miami tonight. So here we go. Utah inbounding with 1:49 to go. Stockton. Maxwell defending Stockton. Stojakovic on Anderson. Jason Williams on Isley. Stockton into the paint. And Todd Fuller goes down. No foul. And it'll be Sacramento ball with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Nobody got back. Weber's down low. His shot was blocked. Incredible. It's been an incredible game. Now Utah with a chance to build it to 4 again with 1:25 remaining.
The Kings have to really play some tough defense for 19 seconds in this look. They can't give the Jazz any easy baskets.
Clock down to 7 seconds. Weber got off his feet. Stockton got it to Malone. Jason Williams came away with it. 1 minute to go in the game. A chance for the Kings to tie. Stojakovic going to drive over to Weber. Nothing is gone for Weber. We've got a loose ball foul, and it's going to be on Utah. 56 seconds remaining in the game. Chris Weber has had an offensive nightmare tonight. Weber with only 8 points, none in the quarter, and only 3 of 11 from the floor.
Good hustle by Vlade Divac. It's just really important for the Jazz to cover the perimeter of the Kings. It's better if they can play Divac down in the low post with Fuller one-on-one so he doesn't have to start worrying about three-point shooters. They got to find somebody that can put the ball in the bucket if you're a Kings fan.
This free throw would tie it at 75 with under a minute remaining in the game. Vlade showing the scars of battle. It's tied at 75.
These two teams, no stranger to overtime basketball.
Crowd on their feet now with 50 seconds remaining. Isley defended by Williams. Stockton, Maxwell on him. Weber on Malone. 10 seconds. Isley penetrates. Weber grabbed the ball, but there's a whistle. There's going to be a hold call. The crowd's so noisy, the players can't hear the referee blow the whistle, and that was the 5th foul on Weber.
And Peja very late getting over there. This cut off Isley on that drive. Had he been there one step sooner, he could have stopped the foul of Isley going to the bucket.
Isley has not missed a free throw in the playoff series, and he still hasn't. He's 8 for 8. And 37.7 remaining.
And the most consistent guard of the Jazz trio out there, Isley, been very strong in all 3 basketball games.
2-point Utah lead. Isley has 17 points tonight. Kings timeout. Utah 77-75. Series tied at 1. Back to Arco in a moment.
Watch Due South at 6 and ER at 7. Weeknights on TNT.
Wide, and you got shooters on the floor. You got Maxwell, you got Jason Williams, and you got Peja. Not necessarily settling for the jumper. Maybe take a look, let the defense run by, and take it to the hole.
Jason Williams. Maxwell inside to Divac.
See how spread?
Defended by Malone. Divac up and under. Fouled by Malone. Divac will go to the line with 29.5 seconds to go. That's only the 4th on Malone. Not a significant factor at this point in the game.
You have to think that Jerry Sloan did not want to go double team on Vlade. Look how spread the court is. Take a look. Guys all the way on the perimeters. Vlade all the way down by himself. If the double team comes, he's got shooters right here.
Vlade 5 of 6 from the line tonight. He's an excellent free throw shooter. This one would tie it with 29.5 seconds to go. Both teams have 2 full timeouts and 1:20 remaining in this game.
And remember, in game 2, the mistake the Jazz made was they played single coverage down on the low post, and the Kings hit big shots.
It's tied at 77. Everybody on their feet. 4.4-second differential in the shot and game clock. Of course, looking for Malone. Weber on him. Now the pick and roll. Stockton, 10 on the shot clock. John kicks it out to Isley, who's got 17 tonight. Big 3-point shot. Doesn't go. Fuller back tip. Shot clock at 7, 6, 5. Malone driving 3. That doesn't go. 1.5 seconds. Chance for another shot. No. We've got overtime for the 4th time this year between these 2 teams. 3 times in the regular season, and this in the 3rd game of the playoff series. What a series it is. 5 minutes of free basketball coming up. Time, and we even have promos in our audience here in Sacramento. Isley missed long, then Karl Malone missed. The Jazz had some opportunities.
And these are moments when you start kind of wetting your pants, when the guys get good looks like this. That's a good look by Howard Isley. Look at the rebound tip by Todd Fuller, and then of course Karl Malone. Good look at the basket, and Weber had his hand in his face. That's good, solid defense. That's why we're in this overtime, Bob.
Tied at 77, Utah with the first possession. Utah won 2 of the overtimes in the regular season. Kings won 1. Malone being defended by Divac. Fake the handoff, then gets the turnaround open look, doesn't hit it. Divac couldn't grab the rebound. Malone misses again, Weber did. Jason Williams on the run.
Oh, that's one time Jason needed to really penetrate and cause some action. He had him untransitioned, everybody moving, and you know Karl Malone would have fouled him.
Now Divac, Ostertag back in the ballgame. Been out a long time. Divac backs him down low, misses the lay-in. He was point-blank range. Still tied at 77. 50 seconds gone in the overtime. Malone's turnaround fade doesn't go. Long rebound corralled by Jason Williams. Still tied. Now down to 4 minutes in the overtime.
Quick shot by Karl Malone. Didn't run any clock down. Not the way they really want to play this overtime, I'm sure.
Going back to Divac against Ostertag. Still isolated, waiting for the double. It's not coming. Divac has it stripped by John Stockton.
One extra dribble gave John a chance to go get it, and that's exactly what he did. He waited till Divac's back was turned.
Stockton so big on hitting the big shots in situations like this. John hasn't scored much tonight. He has only 5 points. Jason Williams, nice defense.
2 defensive gems by 2 point guards in the overtime. Nice play.
Pick and roll. Jason Williams misses from long range. Stojakovic nearly saved it. Now Malone with it. No team has scored in this overtime. Nearly 2 minutes elapsed.
Tough shot. Jason Williams in the overtime. Biggest game of his young career. Takes a 30-footer with 3 minutes to go.
All the picks and screens being set by Utah in their classic offensive sets with 6 on the shot clock. Malone missing. Still tied. Now 2:52 to go. Neither team has scored in this overtime.
Well, that's because it's becoming a jump shot contest. You still got to play, bang it underneath the boards.
Now Weber on the post. He'll go to his jump hook. 2-point lead by Sacramento.
And you got to find somebody that's going to go in the paint and do some damage.
Weber had been struggling. That's his first field goal since the third period ended. Has 10 points in the game. He was 0 for 5 in the fourth period. Looking for Malone, as usual, on the block. Divac has him pushed way out. Pass inside Ostertag. Ostertag misses it. Rebound by Vlade Divac. 2:13 to go in overtime. This crowd is in a frenzy at Arco.
And if the Jazz aren't going to double team that low post, you got to go back to the well. It's up to you, big fella.
Jump hook. Weber misses. Stockton with the rebound. Minute 58 remaining in OT. Stockton tries to take Maxwell to the hoop. Maxwell, good position defense. Back to Malone. Double time this time. Open man Anderson. 4-3.
Short.
Air ball. King's ball.
Oh, he gave him the lizard arms.
Ostertag's going to sit down now as Todd Fuller gets back into the game. Jerry Sloan not happy with Ostertag's play. We have 1:44 to go in overtime. Kings up 79-77. Series tied at 1 each. Kings have never won a home playoff game since they moved here from Kansas City in '85. Weber backing down Fuller. Minute 30, 8 on the shot clock. Fuller with the foul. No basket.
Chris Weber looking for someone to go to. Doesn't get the double team. Everybody's covered. He's down there by himself. He has to understand that when he was with the Wizards, Bernie Bickerstaff used to get very frustrated because he couldn't go to him for the big shots. He has proven that he can make the big shots. You got to keep going to him and let him make some decisions for you.
Stojakovic will inbound, and yes, they are going to get Brian Russell back into the game, and Shandon Anderson will sit down. Minute 29 to go, new 24-second clock. Kings up by 2. Weber right back to the well, as you say, Reggie.
Back to the well.
He got in. Todd Fuller, the jump hook, misses again.
But he's settling. You can't just settle for the same shot every time. You got to make your move quick. You see the defense is not coming. Why take the jump hook? Take him all the way in.
Crowd chanting defense for the Kings. Stockton probing, looking. Bounce pass Malone. He draws the foul as he drives with 7 on the shot clock. 1:03 to go in the ball game. Malone took it down with the clock running down inside. Weber has just fouled out of the game. Chris Weber with his 6th personal foul.
And this is why you got to keep ball movement right there. Never stop moving. John Stockton finding Karl Malone. Nice play and a big one in this game.
Webber fouls out with 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Karl Malone to the free throw line. Malone hasn't missed there tonight. He's 4 out of 4, and Pollard will replace Webber with 1:03 to go. The 2 free throws here would tie it for Utah.
And Bob, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me. The Kings have not run any offensive set except for that spread offense, throw it to the low post. With Webber out of the game, Vlade not being able to hit the easy ones, they got to come up with a different offensive play to finish this game out.
See the dejection on the face of Chris Webber. Well, you couldn't see it, but believe me, it's there. Malone ties it at 79, 1:03 to go. Two teams went to 3 overtime games in the regular season, Utah winning 2 of them. The series tied at 1-1. Back to Divac in the same position as Webber. See if Divac can do any better against Malone. His hook shot.
Oh, that's a huge one, Bob.
46.5 seconds in overtime. Do the Kings have a defensive stop? Utah, the veteran Western Conference defending champions. They've been here before. Isley pull-up jumper. Big bucket from Isley, who's having a career playoff night tonight. Isley with 32 seconds to go in what might be the first overtime. Looking again for Divac. Going into the paint once again. No double team. Divac jump hook. Rattles home. Clock down to 21-5. Kings by 2.
And that's what happens if you don't play double team basketball in the low post. You see him just walk right in there. Pollard's got to step up on this picks.
Russell wide open. Hard to the hoop. Divac's got a piece of it. Malone rebound. Fuller fouled hard by Divac with 4.2 seconds remaining. Todd Fuller has not taken a free throw in this playoff series. He is a 60% free throw shooter on the regular season, so that was a good foul from Vlade Divac.
Fuller only shoots 60% from the free throw line, Bob, and if you got to have stops, it's just as good when you foul somebody hard and stop him from getting a layup.
Sacramento going to ice Fuller now as the Kings get a timeout. 4.2 seconds remaining in overtime. Wow, hold on. Sacramento in the first game at Salt Lake City by 30 points. The Kings stunned the Jazz, winning by 11 on Monday night. They come back here to Arco. The Kings led by as many as 16 in the first half. Jazz battled back to take a 1- and 2-point lead a couple of times here late in the ball game, and with overtime, 4.2 seconds to go, Todd Fuller goes to the line. He has not shot a free throw in the playoff series. He's a 60% shooter, only took 50 free throws all year long. He hit 30 of them, and these are the biggest of his young career.
And they're icing him again, Bob, making him really think about it.
You see the look on Fuller's face as he looks away. If we get a shot of his face, I'm telling you, the young man looks shell-shocked, but he's a heck of a ball player in his second year from North Carolina State. Told you about the overtimes earlier this year. Jazz won the first one, Kings won the second one. Then the game Reggie, you and I broadcast here on April 13th, their last regular season meeting. The Jazz got that one 105 to 100 in overtime. So this is the 4th overtime between these two teams this year.
And Bob, this finish of this game is really mirroring the game we saw in Game 2 in Utah. Offense by the Kings, low post game, no double teams by the Jazz, and somebody, last game it was Chris Webber, tonight it's been Vlade.
You see what it is, but there's only 4.2 seconds as Todd Fuller steps to the free throw line. Let's watch and wait.
And he looks stiff, Bob. I haven't seen a guy get iced like that 2 timeouts in a row.
Now Utah gets a timeout. Utah better not celebrate yet. An offensive rebound would still give the Jazz a chance to win. Has one free throw to go. Utah called timeout, probably to call a play for an intentional miss and a chance for a rebound and the basket that would win or tie this overtime game.
And for the Kings, you know that they're thinking the only thing they talked about in that huddle is on the miss, you got to get the rebound no matter what. If you can't get it, you got to tap it, hit it as hard as you can down to the other side of the floor. Now, if he makes the free throw, you got to get the ball out of bounds and into a good free throw shooter's hand quickly. All he has to do is cover up and hold on for his own free throw.
Now Utah, after they see who's on the floor here for the Sacramento Kings, calls a timeout. And remember, when they come back in, we have one Todd Fuller free throw remaining. My, oh my, I remember Doug Collins telling me about an intentional missed free throw that the Philadelphia 76ers had when he, of course, a great free throw. Side of him is Vlade Divac, but look for somebody to come from the top, Isley or Brian Russell.
And the King guards are face guarding.
It's missed. Pollard with the rebound. The foul, 2.8 seconds remaining. And look out, Maxwell over on the side with Russell. Ostertag stepping in. Brian Russell calming him down. Rick Adelman is all the way out. Excuse me, Reggie. Rick Adelman and Jerry Sloan are all the way out here in the middle of both of this.
You got to think. You got to really be patient. You can't get anything silly right now.
Let's look over in the corner, Reggie. Maxwell, Divac, and Jason Williams calming each other down. That's why he's out. We've got the personal foul on Karl Malone with 2.8 seconds remaining in the game, and the Kings up by 2.
The Kings face guard, and look at Maxwell stand Russell up. He won't let him go, and that's where the takedown comes in. Fuller, look at this. This is really what you have to do under these circumstances. Face guard, nobody gets it. It's my ball.
Pollard will go to the line. Scott Pollard, second year out of Kansas, is 69% on the regular season, 2 out of 3 in the playoff series. And Maxwell and Russell and Jason Williams are still jawing way back here in the backcourt. But the most important thing right now is Pollard hitting one or both of these. You see, he hasn't taken any. Pollard misses. That was a double technical on Maxwell and Russell. Not significant at this point, but that was a big miss. And the officials have reset seconds on the game clock. 3.3 remaining. That'll be plenty of time for Utah to get off a shot. Pollard hits one, giving them a 3-point lead. Timeout, Utah. 3.3 seconds. They'll need a three-pointer to tie. Oh, baby.
Scott Pollard's been playing big for him. Big free throw with the chin strap beard. He's got to hold his hat on. Nice play from the big fella.
Well, the two teams talking about their strategy now for the final 3.3 seconds to this excited crowd here at Arco. Tomorrow night, special time, if you'll note on your screen, for both of these doubleheaders. First of all on TBS, Magic 76ers at 6:30 Eastern Time. Pacers Bucks will follow. Then on TNT.
See, from that lineup, Bob, you got to chase the offense to the basket. You don't care if they throw it to him going to the bucket. You have to really stop them from getting it outside the three-point line.
That was a warning. Into Stockton. He's got a shot at it. Sacramento wins their first playoff game in this Sacramento franchise history. They had never won a home playoff game since the franchise moved here in 1985, and the surprising Kings have taken a 2-1 lead in this series over the defending Western Conference champion, Utah Jazz. Vlade Divac, worried about the situation in Yugoslavia, worried about his parents, his brother, getting only 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. Came up very big in this game tonight. Vlade, 22 points and 14 rebounds. He's with Cheryl.
Vlade, first of all, congratulations as team. The franchise's first playoff win. Overtime, he had some big minutes taking over for Chris Webber.
Well, it was a big game for us, for fans, for City. I think, we did a good job defensively on Karl Malone in the first half. That was a big key. We jumped on them just like they jumped on us in the first game up in Utah. And on the end, we were a little lucky, but you know.
Bobby, after game 2, the one thing that everybody said, you guys said in the locker room, was you were not content with just that win, that you wanted to come home.
But Sacramento still has the lead, and now they have the ball.
Okay, now you go into the post. If Russell is going to play Weber, you go to him. If he's playing Divac, you go to him. You have to pick out your mismatch and then take your time.
Weber with the jump hook. Stockton takes the rebound.
See, he's got more time than that, Bob. It was a quick shot.
Stockton accelerating on Barry, and it's an offensive foul. And Barry rejoices. Says, how about that? They called one on the veteran.
John Stockton not happy because this would have been 2 free throws for Stockton that could have put his team into the lead. Wow, that's close. Looked like John Barry threw his chest into him on that play, and Barry is excited or surprised, one or the other.
Combination of both. Weber again, knocked away.
Great defense by Brian Russell, taking the challenge.
Divac on Malone, the jumper. Can't give Utah the lead.
Chris Webber's waited all these years to be a factor in the playoffs. He's got his chance right now. His team's going to give him another chance. It's his 3rd opportunity in the post.
The lob finds him inside, and he connects. But wait, the foul comes before the shot.
See, that's a major play. Instead of a 3-point play, Weber's going to shoot 2 free throws, and they're 0 for 4. He and Vlade combined in this period. You see Weber, they front, they throw over the top. There's the foul before the shot, so it's a good call. But now Weber's got to make the free throws.
1 for 3 in this game, 45% for the year, and that one's way off. You knew as soon as it left his hands.
5 missed free throws, 0 for 5, Vlade and Weber. Weber's 0 for 3, Vlade 0 for 2. Bob, we talk about all the time, free throw line, the little things that win or lose decisive games.
1 of 2, and a 2-point Sacramento lead.
See, I think somebody else here for Utah has got to look to shoot. Malone has been taking most every shot here.
Stockton. Russell from the head of the key to tie the game. Here's John Barry. Into Divac against Malone. Stojakovic, big shot. Rebound to Weber. Maxwell hits the 3.
Now this guy missed 8 straight threes the other night in game 3. They threw him to shoot the 9th one. He buried it to give them a 2-point lead. He will not run away from the shot.
Stockton into Malone. Left hand, but it spills off. Out of bounds to the Jazz. Maxwell has already scored 11 points in this 4th quarter. Stockton, meanwhile, has shot just 1 for 11 for the game. Hornacek. Short. He gets it back. Left hand. Whoa, what a shot!
What a shot by Hornacek. Sacramento allowed a second shot opportunity. What a finish, Bob, that we are in for here.
Highlight reel material from Hornacek. Barry splits the defense and hits.
John Barry.
They've done all this with Jason Williams, one of the most exciting rookies to come into the league in years, on the bench. Ineffective today. They may pull the upset without much of a contribution from him. Russell for 3. Off the back iron, but Hornacek is there. Up again. There's a whistle, and he was fouled. It could have been a 3-point play.
Well, you're Sacramento right now, and you said, you know what? We force a miss by Hornacek. We have got to have all 5 guys on the board. Hornacek comes up with a loose ball, and look at this shot. An unbelievable shot here by Hornacek. Now he's at the line shooting 2 free throws to try to bring his team back to a 1-point game off another second shot. So Sacramento must rebound the ball.
The hand to the side of the face, as most of you know, the signal of hello to his children. One of the best free throw shooters in the NBA and has been for years, nearly 90% for the season.
Now, there's not a better team in the league executing down the stretch under pressure than Utah. 6 straight scores the other night when they had to have it. They need the same today.
1-point game. Game 5, deciding game of this first-round series. Sacramento with the 1-point lead in the ball. It's Divac against Malone with the hook, and he increases the advantage to 3.
See, with a small lineup, Malone can't play Vlade. This is what's happened with the small ball. They stole one the other night.
Inside a minute. This could tie it. Brian Russell.
A huge mistake after Vlade Divac scores on this hook shot to give him a 3-point lead. Stojakovic is not a good defender. He's out there for offense, but on penetration, strong side, what's Stojakovic? He's going to leave Brian Russell, leaves him wide open in the corner, and gives him a stand-up 3 to tie the game.
Timeout Sacramento, 48.5 on the clock.
Sorry. Not enough. No, still short.
For the great taste that will fill you up and never let you down.
Paper or plastic? Paper.
Make it a Bud Light.
Guys, need a receipt?
We have 2 different command accounts because our investment strategies are slightly different.
I'm more aggressive. I like to take long shots.
I'm a bit more conservative. So we can compare at the end of each month when we get our command account statement, and then we can argue and fight about it.
Disagree.
We demand service. We demand quality.
I wouldn't say we're demanding about that. For heaven's sake, that's not demanding service. We just expect it.
This is not a commercial. It's a sitcom.
Pitchers want to be hitters. That's un-American.
Why would pitchers want to hit?
Everybody wants to be a hitter.
50% of pitching is hitting anyway.
What can I say? A low ERA just isn't that sexy.
Pitchers want to be hitters, huh? Another shameless attempt by Nike to sell more sneakers.
I don't want to say anything because they're still pitchers.
What did you want to be when you were growing up? Claire wanted to be the protector of the world. Now her world consists of school plays and sick days. Ford Windstar to the rescue. Windstar is the only vehicle on the planet to earn the government's highest rating in both front and side impact crash tests. Hey Claire, you are the protector of the world. The new Ford Windstar, built to last.
Remember, kids in the backseat.
Thursday, the season finale of ER. A lost child is found, while another may be lost forever. New discoveries beyond anything you could guess.
What? Mark? What?
The ER season finale not to be missed. NBC Thursday.
2 nights ago, John Stockton broke Sacramento's heart, and maybe some people thought its spirit. Utah came out in Game 5 and jumped on them in front of a raucous home crowd, 16-3. But Sacramento has come back, and the issue is even with 48.5 seconds to play.
Question I have is, what are they going to do in the post? You say, why aren't they doubling Vlade Divac? They're so worried about the 3-point shooting. Let's see if they go back once again, and if they double team the post, or they let Vlade go one-on-one. Here it is.
Divac turns, lays it up, and misses it. Shandon Anderson flies in for the rebound.
Karl Malone made first-team all-league defense this year. He said, let me guard him, got a big stop there.
Forget the fact that he's had a bad shooting game. If it comes down to one shot, Stockton is liable to take it.
Watch Hornacek on that weak side rolling up also.
4 seconds to shoot, and it's Stockton. It's not there for him. Divac takes it. Timeout Kings. 9.2.
Sacramento couldn't ask for more, Bob. They got the last possession to win it. The game is tied. They should put the last shot up there, either win it or go into overtime.
The team from Sacramento is the Kings, but it's Utah that may be dethroned as Western champions in the next 9.2.
Move against Karl Malone and doesn't get it to go. And then on the other end, John Stockton, the guy who hit the game winner the other night, is 1 now for 12, has a wide open shot. He says, I've got to make this one, and it does not go, and it gives Sacramento the last possession here to win the game.
Stockton 1 for 12 for the game. Malone, who has scored 18, is scoreless in the fourth quarter. If this goes overtime, would it surprise anybody? They played 7 previous games this year, and 4 of them have gone to OT. This could be 5 and 8. Into Maxwell. 8 seconds. Barry, now Divac. 5 seconds. Against Malone. 2 seconds. For the series. No, overtime.
Wow, you think that the Utah Jazz's fans' hearts were not up in their throats on that play, Bob? And that shot goes, your season is over. Now you've got 5 more minutes here. Vlade took his time. He made sure that there would be no other shots, and he just missed it. The Sacramento bench.
We'll play at least 5 more minutes in Game 5. Hornacek's got Barry. Into Weber against Russell, and he lost it.
Brian Russell is really fighting Chris Weber in the post. Remember I said earlier, Brian Russell played power forward in college, so he's been used to playing that kind of low post defense, but Weber has got to do a better job down there.
Out of the corner, Anderson misses the 3. Tapped out of bounds and touched last by Utah.
Sacramento's had a mess up on defense there. That's 2 wide open 3s. Now remember, Russell made the 1, but they're doing something on this strong side defensively. Jazz will go back to that.
Weber turns on Russell, and he was pushed by Brian. And that'll be Russell's 4th foul.
Again, they're going to go into the post. This is going to be they're going to try to control the game from the post. Weber turns this time and goes baseline, and Brian Russell takes the foul.
Otherwise, he would have been home free. Stojakovic. Out to the corner for Divac, and Vlade Divac has it come up short. No one scored in the first minute of overtime. Hornacek straight on 3. Long rebound to Stockton. He's 1 for 12, and he pitches it back outside to Hornacek. Maxwell's on him. It stayed down. The Kings are contending that Anderson touched it while it was up there in the cylinder, and he almost did, but then he pulled back at the last second and said, I'll take my chances on the bounce.
Well, now Sacramento shouldn't be giving up this second shot. Utah's got a small lineup on the floor.
Maxwell ties it.
Now, how about the last 23 points that Sacramento has scored in the fourth quarter and overtime? Vernon Maxwell has 13 and Barry 7. They have 20 of the 23 points.
Malone screening for Stockton. John looking for help. Russell out top. On the drive, and then inside to Anderson, and it bounces home for him.
Shandon Anderson time. This is what he did in the fourth quarter of Game 4. 10 out of 16 points. Now in overtime, he's got both baskets.
14 for the game. Maxwell. And Stockton fouls him. That's 3 on Stockton.
Shandon Anderson is a battler. He's a hustler. Remember at the end of the Game 6 against the Chicago Bulls 2 years ago when he had the tough luck. Shandon Anderson again with a layup. So back-to-back field goals. Hustle plays by Shandon Anderson.
Divac against Malone. Ball knocked free and taken by Stockton. Stockton racing back the other way. Misses the layup, but Anderson is there. They wave it off.
See, Stockton barreled right into Stojakovic, and it's going to be a 2-shot foul. Stojakovic running side by side. taking the challenge. Vlade getting stripped down low. And you see Stojakovic, and what Stockton does, he barrels right up his chest and he gets the foul.
81% free throw shooter. 8 for 8 today now.
See, now Stojakovic is in the game right now. He's a good offensive player. He's a three-point shooter, but he's a defensive liability. Wahed is a better defensive player, but he doesn't shoot the ball well.
First miss of the day for Stockton. As a team, Utah hasn't missed many. They're 27 for 30. Kings down 3. Barry in some trouble and lost it.
Utah is turning up the pressure. Rick Adelman pleading for his team to calm down, but John Barry gets down on that baseline. You see Hornacek knocks the ball away from him, and the turnover. A basket here would be huge for the Jazz.
Stockton gets it to Malone. There's contact as he drives, and he was fouled.
Stojakovic so late on that rotation. Again, he's a defensive liability. Rick Adelman has got to think about him being in the game. Look, he's slow getting over there. That's 2 quick fouls on him now where the Jazz have just barreled into him to get to the line. Rick Adelman's got to make a decision here on what he's going to do defensively as his team is breaking down right now.
Karl Malone, 4th all-time leading scorer in NBA history, behind Kareem, Wilt, and Michael. 3rd this year, behind Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson. That was his first point since the 3rd quarter. 19 for the game. This could make it a 5-point lead with 2:02 left. Stockton all over him. The pass in the lane is deflected, and they lose it on the turnover.
Utah has just turned up the defensive pressure, and Sacramento has wilted under it.
Well, if in fact they've wilted, it's taken 5 games plus an overtime. Anderson's free. 3 big buckets in the OT for Shandon Anderson.
The execution. And the Jazz pick it off, and then Shandon Anderson, once again, the small lineup has hurt Sacramento. The speed and quickness has overcome the power and size of Sacramento. And again, Bob, you talked about it. They have wilted right now, but it wasn't from their lack of effort. That just Utah's pressure has just turned it up against them.
What a day of playoff basketball in the NBA and on NBC. Let's check with Hannah Storm in New York.
Thanks, Bob. It has been an amazing day of playoffs.
Houston ducks under. Got it! With 8 tenths left.
Get the ball in, and it's got to get up in the air. Porter
got it away. No good. Just missed. And the New York Knicks.
The final score, 78-77, as the Knicks become just the second number 8 seed to oust a number 1 in the playoffs. They will open the second round on Tuesday night in either Atlanta or Detroit. Let's go back to Salt Lake City. Bob, Doug, and Ahmad.
The story in overtime, Shandon Anderson, 3 clutch hoops, and Sacramento 4 turnovers to none for the Jazz in the OT.
Well, you talk about the execution, and that's what's exactly happened here. And, you know, in fairness, Vernon Maxwell's really not a true point guard. Jason Williams has struggled so badly today that he's had to go with he and John Barry, and those 2 guys played exceptionally well. But come 4th quarter, they have really struggled to get him into their offense. Shandon Anderson, once again, has been the guy to bail the Jazz out. The great offensive tip that gives them a 2-point lead. The finish that gives them a 4-point lead. And then the jumper underneath the basket that gives them a 7-point lead.
And how close is the margin between victory and defeat? On that first tip, he was a millisecond away from being called for an offensive goaltender.
That's how fickle victory and defeat is in this sport, Bob. It's just an eyelash away. How about Allen Houston's shot? You're down one, the ball hits, it goes to the backboard. What if you don't get the kind bounce? You lose.
And in this series, a shot that went down for Stockton at the end of Game 4 and a hook at the buzzer at the end of regulation in Game 5 that wouldn't drop for Divac. By virtue of a single play, Sacramento could have won Game 4, could have won Game 5. It looks like they'll drop both. They've still got a minute and a half to do something about it. Maxwell. Now Divac. Against Malone and a whistle. Divac has played 46 minutes. And the gauge in his fuel tank may be pointing at E long about now.
I'll tell you, you know what turned this game around for Utah is when Jerry Sloan went to his small lineup, the team that pulled the game out the other day. You know what he went with? He went with his 5 best competitors.
Third foul on Malone. Again into Vlade. Malone pokes it away and steals it, but he fouled him.
The quick hands of Karl Malone. Vlade turns. Looks like he knocks that ball loose. Very fortunate break there. Now Vlade's got to step up. He's been such a good free throw shooter in this series. He needs to step up. This game is far.
He's had the best season perhaps of his NBA career under great personal stress.
And he's the leader of this team. There's no question about it. Just watching today.
Malone thinks about it, lets it go, and misses it. Big rebound comes to Brian Russell.
That's what's killed him, the offensive rebound. Sacramento, again, the bigger team, but the quickness is winning right now, getting all the loose balls.
Barry leaning on Stockton. Stockton looking to use some clock. Inside 10 seconds to shoot. 45 in the game. Russell. Stockton. Anderson. And a 3-second violation.
Yeah, maybe you'll get 1 pass, but not 3.
Even in 1999, there comes a point at which they will call a 3-second violation. What a job Rick Adelman has done. And Jeff Peetling on fumes now. His pass is deflected, and yet another overtime turnover, and they're forced to foul Stockton, and that may finish it.
The aggressiveness defensively of the Utah Jazz, they tipped this to the Sacramento team.
Utah didn't so much win as they escaped in round 1.
Look at the handshakes. This is admiration. He said, you know what? We fought you to the finish.
Pushing the basketball up the court. What do you do against a good defensive team? You don't let them set up. That's Charlie Ward unloading for a 3-point shot right there. The Knicks did a great job of not letting the Knicks set up their defense and scoring easy baskets.
I swore that I saw Patrick make that extra pass that time. Come on now. You were his teammate for a few years. How hard is it to play with this guy?
Well, I wasn't a scorer.
Even in his prime.
I was